Have you ever wondered why painful experiences so often lead to your biggest breakthroughs? Gautama Buddha pondered this very question more than 2,500 years ago, concluding that suffering isn't just an inevitable part of life, it can be a powerful catalyst for growth. Far from promoting despair, Buddha emphasized how confronting challenges can illuminate our deeper capacities for understanding, empathy, and resilience. In this guide, we'll explore why Buddha saw suffering as both unavoidable and profoundly transformative, and how you can channel hardships to foster greater wisdom and inner peace. Why suffering is inescapable, dukkha. In Buddhist teachings, the term dukkha is often translated as suffering, though it also encompasses feelings of dissatisfaction, restlessness, or unease. Buddha observed that everyone, no matter their status, wealth, or knowledge, grapples with these forms of discomfort. Physical ailments, emotional turmoil, social conflicts, or even the realization that life's pleasures are fleeting, all fall under the umbrella of dukkha. He didn't highlight this to be pessimistic. Rather, he believed recognizing suffering was crucial if one wished to transcend it. Imagine going about your daily routine, convinced you can avoid all pain and frustration. The moment adversity strikes, say you lose your job or face a health crisis, such illusions shatter, creating even more distress. Buddha noted that this avoidance mindset actually amplifies suffering. Instead, by acknowledging that difficulties are woven into existence, we stop resisting reality and begin examining our emotional responses. Accepting the inevitability of struggle doesn't mean resigning ourselves to misery. It means stepping onto the path where real healing and transformation become possible. In everyday life, acknowledging dukkha might involve admitting that certain relationships strain us more than we'd like, or that our career successes haven't delivered unending happiness. Identifying these pains prompts us to ask deeper questions. What keeps us tethered to dissatisfaction? How can we respond differently? As we become honest about these dilemmas, we open the door to rethinking our perspectives and adopting new coping strategies, setting the stage for meaningful growth. Buddha's pivotal insight, from pain to progress. Buddha's own journey captures how adversity can awaken us to deeper truths. Born a prince, Siddhartha Gautama lived in sheltered luxury until he encountered old age, sickness, and death. Disturbed by these stark realities, he left the palace to seek an end to suffering. His eventual enlightenment under the Bodhi tree wasn't merely about escaping pain. It was about understanding its nature and harnessing it as a stepping stone to greater awareness. This idea resonates even now. Crisis points often push us to reevaluate our assumptions about life. Perhaps you endure the heartbreak of a failed relationship or the loss of a long-held dream. In the aftermath, you may question who you are without those attachments, sparking an existential or spiritual inquiry. Buddha's insight suggests that without the sting of discomfort, many of us remain complacent, locked into habitual routines that neither challenge nor enlighten us. Suffering shatters those routines, inviting us to see beyond our comfort zones and grow in ways we hadn't considered possible. Thus, suffering can serve as an unlikely mentor, ruthless yet honest, showing us where we hold misguided beliefs or where our priorities may be out of balance. By examining our emotional pain instead of burying it, we gain the courage to pivot, transform, and ultimately live with greater authenticity. Like Buddha, discovering the illusory nature of worldly comforts, we too can use suffering as a lens that clarifies what truly matters. The purpose of hardship. Spiritual awakening. Why do difficulties so often lead to personal or spiritual awakening? In Buddhist philosophy, suffering serves as a loud alarm bell, alerting us that our usual coping mechanisms, like clinging to material success or chasing fleeting pleasures, aren't foolproof. You might enjoy a high-paying job or a fulfilling romance for a while, but changes, layoffs, breakups, or health issues can leave you unmoored. This jolt can trigger a profound reevaluation of what stability and happiness really mean. Buddha believed that illusions, particularly the illusion that external achievements guarantee lasting peace, keep us trapped in cyclical dissatisfaction. hardship pierces those illusions. Imagine losing something you believed you needed to be happy. The ensuing pain can crack open your preconceived notions about life. While it's uncomfortable, this dismantling process paves the way for deeper wisdom. You learn that genuine peace must arise from within, not from external acquisitions or validations. For monks, hardship is sometimes deliberately embraced through ascetic practices or minimalist living, aiming to strip away distractions so that the underlying workings of the mind are laid bare. For lay practitioners, daily challenges, balancing finances, coping with family strife, facing societal pressures, can serve a parallel function. Each hardship reveals that the mind's freedom isn't determined by external comfort, but by the cultivated ability to remain centered and compassionate, come what may. How suffering exposes attachments. One vital role suffering plays is exposing our attachments. According to Buddha, we suffer because we latch onto impermanent things, whether objects, people, or the belief that life should be perpetually smooth. When those attachments face disruption, pain emerges, reminding us that our dependency on fragile conditions seeds ongoing anxiety. Envision how heartbreak might reveal your deep-seated fear of being alone, or how job loss might uncover your reliance on external recognition for self-worth. These revelations, though painful, are invaluable. They pinpoint exactly where we've placed undue hope in something ephemeral. Recognizing these attachments puts us at a crossroads. Cling tighter and prolong distress, or let go and find a more resilient form of peace. Monks exemplify detachment by living simply and refraining from luxuries not out of disdain for enjoyment, but to avoid the mental heaviness that possessions often bring. For laypeople, the takeaway might be a more moderate approach, repeatedly questioning whether we're too emotionally invested in certain roles or items. By gently disentangling from these illusions, we lessen our vulnerability to despair when life shifts. Through this lens, suffering becomes a beacon illuminating our deepest clingings so we can dismantle them consciously. Choosing growth, a monastic model. If suffering is inevitable, the question becomes, how do we respond? For Buddhist monks, part of the answer lies in embracing voluntary simplicity and daily meditative discipline. They view minor discomforts like rising before dawn, adhering to limited meals, or engaging in repetitive chores as opportunities to train the mind against knee-jerk reactions. Instead of seeing these routines as restrictive, monks appreciate them as a mental gym, building resilience and clarity. This approach can translate into modern life in smaller ways. If you notice you habitually avoid tasks that bring discomfort, like a challenging conversation or a fitness routine, decide to tackle them deliberately. By leaning into manageable forms of hardship, you reinforce the muscle of perseverance. Over time, bigger crises also become less daunting because you're used to facing adversity head-on rather than fleeing from it. Essentially, you cultivate what psychologists might call stress inoculation. Each instance of discomfort met with mindfulness and resolve bolsters your confidence in handling life's storms. Buddhists underscore that growth is less about the absence of hardship and more about the skillful engagement with it. Adopting a monastic mindset, even part-time, fosters a proactive, self-reliant attitude that can turn suffering into a stepping stone rather than an abyss. Suffering's role in compassion and empathy. Another crucial dimension to Buddha's view of suffering is the expansion of compassion. Personal pain often sensitizes us to the hardships others face. If you've struggled with grief or anxiety, you're more likely to sense the depth of someone else's distress, avoiding the trap of superficial platitudes. Compassion then evolves from a lofty ideal into a grounded reality, fueled by shared human vulnerability. Buddha's path after enlightenment wasn't solitary. He spent decades teaching and alleviating the suffering of countless people, indicating that insight born from his own trials ignited a profound empathy for others. In modern contexts, when a friend loses a job or endures heartbreak, your empathy resonates more genuinely if you've faced similar trials. You recall your own confusion or pain, forging a bond that goes beyond polite sympathy. This sense of interconnectedness fosters a community of mutual support, creating a ripple effect of understanding that counters alienation and stigma. Through this lens, personal suffering isn't just about your individual growth. It's also an avenue for nurturing collective well-being. By converting your adversity into empathy, you participate in a shared healing process that enriches everyone. This synergy echoes Buddhist teachings on interdependence, suggesting that our personal liberation is intimately linked with the liberation of others. Practical steps for leveraging suffering for growth. While the Buddha's insights offer a profound framework, translating them into daily practice requires deliberate action. For many of us, suffering triggers emotional upheaval, ranging from frustration to despair. The key is to transform those experiences into paths of self-awareness and development. Instead of viewing pain as an obstacle, see it as a signpost directing you toward deeper truths. Begin by acknowledging your pain rather than denying it. Name the emotion, be it grief, anger, or fear, and allow yourself to feel it without judgment. This recognition sets the stage for honest reflection on what attachments might be fueling your distress, like a hidden need for approval or a tightly held expectation about how life should unfold. Next, adopt a simple mindfulness practice. Even a few daily minutes of silent meditation or focused breathing can help you observe discomfort without letting it spiral. As you sit with these emotions, you can systematically ask, what lesson does this reveal? Perhaps you discover an over-reliance on external validation or an unmet need for boundaries. Choose small, manageable steps to address these issues, such as seeking guidance from a mentor, journaling your realizations, or actively letting go of a specific want that no longer serves you. Finally, remember that the pain you endure can heighten your empathy for others facing similar ordeals. Reach out, share your understanding, or offer support in a way that feels natural. Emphasizing compassion extends your growth beyond the personal realm, turning suffering into a collective uplift. Each day you practice these steps, suffering morphs from an unwelcome intruder into a catalyst that refines your character and widens your perspective. Embracing life's imperfect journey. Buddha never promised a life free from struggle. His teachings revolve around understanding and using struggles to awaken deeper wisdom. Instead of clinging to fantasies of perpetual comfort, we learn to navigate reality with eyes wide open. This doesn't mean courting misery. It means letting each hardship expose the illusions we harbor about ourselves and the world. The illusions fall away, and in their place emerges a clearer, kinder, more flexible mindset. When you embrace the truth that suffering can nurture growth, you step off the exhausting treadmill of avoidance. Challenges remain, but they don't lock you in despair. Armed with mindfulness, self-reflection, and compassion, you stand steadier in the face of life's turbulences, confident that every storm can reveal something valuable about your own strength, your capacity to connect with others, and the ever-evolving dance of existence. In this spirit, adversity becomes not an end but a transformative chapter in an ongoing story of self-discovery. Buddha's insight that suffering is necessary for growth offers a profound shift in how we view life's darkest moments. Rather than dreading or denying pain, we can learn to embrace it as a guide toward deeper understanding, empathy, and inner freedom. Which of these practices or reflections speaks most to your current struggles? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this exploration helpful, like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Monk Mindset, for more teachings on transforming hardship into a gateway for lasting wisdom and peace.